really. Where's my juice? Sorry, folks. There it is. All right, cool. So there's nothing else. So we just have to get into all of this, people. Let's see what all of this is about. Hit the like button if you haven't. Subscribe if you haven't, people. Talks continue. Fabrizio Romano says one Arsenal transfer is dragging as season opener approaches, people. Obviously, this is in relation to Leno. Fulham are taking their sweet time. According to Fabrizio Romano, there's still nothing in place for Leno to move on from Arsenal, with the transfer guru saying the deal is dragging. The negotiation for Leno with Fulham has been dragging on for some time. For the moment, talks continue, but so far there's still no agreement on the price. So we'll have to see what's going on with Leno, people. He doesn't appear to be on the move. Several outlets are talking about Nuno Tavares. Apparently he's moving closer to an Atalanta loan, and I know he played in the second half, obviously, against Chelsea. He's a future you'd probably be looking at, especially with us having Tierney and obviously signing Zinchenko. Saka should never play left back for this club again unless an extreme scenario. But if there was an extreme scenario where only Bukayo Saka and Tavares are the fittest guys able to play left back, if your life was on the line, you'd rather Saka play left back than Tavares, really and truly. But Tavares is now close to sealing a move to Atalanta. Hopefully, Gasperini and Atalanta can get a trick out of him, develop him, turn him into from an £8 million player into a 16 one. You know, so I don't know if Arsenal should be so close to commit to a buy option on him, but I could see why if they cut their losses. DiMarzio has claimed that the deal is edging closer and closer. It will be a dry loan with no option or obligation to buy, people. So we have to see how that one day develops, people. You got to take anything that comes out of them, out of Italy with a pinch of salt relating to Arsenal. Apparently, Balogun is among the Reims targets to replace Hugo Ekitike, who's obviously signed for PSG. That would be a fantastic loan spell. Or if they bid enough money, that would be a fantastic loan spell for Balogun. He play in France, play in the top division. It speaks for itself, innit? And build on the experience he gained in 6 months against for Middlesbrough. I don't think he's ready. You never know. He could hang around, but I think you need games. Minutes are currency. I don't think hanging around the 18s, waiting for the occasional cup games, 23, sorry, is going to help him. But yeah, that would be a good look, really, if he was to go back there. Arsenal and this mystery winger, it's all a bit boring, people. Apparently, Fabrizio Romano said, good question. I will try to find out and tell you in the coming days. Many rumors for many players like Diaby, the Leverkusen winger, but the player is very clear. He wants to stay at Leverkusen. He has no intention to leave, and Leverkusen, when approached, have been asking for 70 million euros. So it's a really complicated deal. So we'll see. I'm sure Arsenal will go with their own ideas as they did with Vlahovic in January. They wanted Vlahovic, but it was impossible because the player only wanted to join Juventus. And I think Edu was perfect in that situation, not wasting money on the striker they weren't trusting, but waiting and signing Gabriel Jesus in the summer because he was the main target. Okay. Gabriel Jesus reveals surprising stats from Edu and Mikel Arteta helped transfer decision, people. They showed me the project and everything about the club. Then they showed me some stuff about my statistics. I was so surprised. They wanted to come to help me improve as a player. So yeah, that's why I came here. I hear that. That was a bit underwhelming, and I thought he was going to talk about some analytical stuff. Speaking of Edu, I like him a lot. Paqueta to Arsenal. Edu has admitted that he is an admirer of the Brazilian international, but he won't be giving the green light to a move this summer as he feels that Arsenal already have enough quality in the same position. In that 10/ role, you could argue if he was in negotiations with Vion. I'm not saying he isn't. It's a game of chess. And again, similar to Telemans, we probably need to see some outgoings before we see some come in. I'm very respectful when I talk about Lucas. I am a guy who likes him a lot. I've always liked him since my time with Brazil's national team. Pardon me. He's had a great season. He was considered the best overseas player in the French league. But today, there isn't really any kind of talk. There's only my admiration for the player. Because the squad today is in the position he plays. I think we're very well served in this regard. And obviously, with Odegaard, Smith Rowe, Fabio Vieira, Zinchenko's ability to play there, you could argue we are. Really, we need probably pure centre mid targets. So that puts to bed anything he was saying in relation to him. He just got pure admiration. Paqueta hype seems to be dead and buried, really and truly. So yeah, he said we're very thinking. Apparently, Eddie went on to say, "I'm very pleased But to say how close is difficult because there's still a lot to do. We are in the middle of a transfer window and things can happen. What we have to be is really focused and be prepared for every single situation. Opportunities maybe can happen. Clubs can sometimes come to us to see if there's a possibility to get players on loan or buy players. We just have to be prepared. And I think we are very much prepared for almost anything. We have a plan for every player in the squad. And that's why I said there's still a lot to do in this transfer window because we have to balance the squad in the best possible way. For the players who probably aren't going to have a lot of minutes here, we have to expose the players to have minutes in another place to keep developing the player, to keep the player's valuation. So that's why we plan it, says Edu. Very interesting words from Edu, really and truly, in that regards, folks. We're almost at 200 likes. Keep running that up. Thank you very much, my late ones. Again, Ben Jacobs kind of confirming in relation to what we just found out about Leno to Fulham. Apparently, they tried 7 million plus £3 million offer, which they felt was strong given Leno's contract is winding down. Leno wants to move and has encouraged Arsenal to lower their asking price. Arsenal want 15 million all in. We'll have to see how that one develops, people. Pablo Marie is on the list of Fenerbahce and Verona in Italy. Torreira, there are many interested clubs, including Valencia, but Arsenal want to sell only on their terms, says Fabrizio Romano. People, let's close that. What is that? Arsenal open to letting Nicolas Pepe leave, but at the moment there is no official offer yet. The player himself also changed agents this summer in an attempt to get a move, but it is proving a tricky sell for evident reasons, people. That all depends, people, because if you look at this, remove that, and then look at this. I am focused and determined. Nicolas Pepe sends message to Mikel Arteta over his Arsenal future. Now, again, he isn't going to say anything different in the public domain. What he says privately, if he does say things privately, is a completely different thing. I worked hard during the summer, changed a lot of things, Pepe said on Instagram. I am focused and determined with Arsenal and my teammates. Hopefully you are, Nicholas. Hopefully you are. In relation to Bowen, Arsenal have a meeting with West Ham winger Jarrod Bowen's representatives next month. The mystery winger target is not just a one-man list, and Arsenal exploring options. This won't be the first time Arsenal have met Bowen's camp. And I remember the Beautiful Game podcast initially broke the news a few months ago about our interest in Bowen. Now, we all know we're not getting Bowen. It's going to cost ridiculous money from West Ham. They want to build the team around him. He's actually got a World Cup to think about. And you know you're going to be playing week in, week out for West Ham. It might be best to stay there and then a year from now or after, at least until January, sort out your future. I'm not saying he wouldn't be enticed by moving to Arsenal or anywhere else. I just don't think it's going to happen, mainly purely because West Ham are going to ask for an arm and a leg. There has been some the ex-West Ham employee, I can't lie, he seems to be a bit of an in the know for the West Ham fans. There's been some talk that Arsenal want to make a move for Bowen. We have been told that the club have no intentions of selling and will in fact be offering a new, much improved contract when the transfer window closes. So maybe that's where that rumor came from, people. Again, from one in the know to the other, Coin Marble says the agent of Saka was at London Coley today, which was the 23rd of July, along with Richard Garlick. Arsenal put forward a contract worth 150 a week for the 20-year-old England winger. Arsenal extremely confident he will sign on, and I'm sure we will hope for as well. Fabrizio Romano said in relation to Nuno Tavares, Arsenal will make final decision on Nuno Tavares deal next week. There are talks ongoing with Atalanta over loan move, but key point is the buy option clause, whether it will be included or not. Nuno keen on the move. Talks will continue in the coming days. So, yeah, once again, Edu said there's still a lot to do. We're in the middle of a transfer market and things can happen. We're prepared for every single situation. Opportunities maybe can happen, people. So make of that what you will. Nuno Tavares is hoping to leave Arsenal on loan this summer, which is good, man. Do what you need to do, really and truly, wherever. That's all of this in relation to Arsenal. Shout out you lot for being tuned in, folks. I don't know. That's just confirming what we know. We already saw that. We know we've signed Zinchenko, folks. Apparently, Zinchenko has an 81.5% win rate, people, in relation to his Premier League games in the 76 he's played. And he's got 4 titles and only lost 11 times. Arsenal have lost more games last season alone, so he's going to be in for a culture shock. Before this summer, Arsenal had never signed a player from Man City in the Premier League era, and now we've signed 2, a bit like buses, 2 come at the same time. Arteta said, we are improving a lot, people. He said, yeah, I'm really happy with the performance in general and with the tour, the attitude from the club, perspective to show here, and all the work we have done. and understand how big we are and the amount of support that we get, then obviously the performance today is a really good example again that we are moving forward, improving a lot as a team, but don't get carried away. It's a test match and there are still a lot of things to do to get better. Amen. Mikel Arteta on the win, Saliba and injury news, people. How long is this? Mikel Arteta said, well, he bigged up the supporters, people. He then bigged up the need to get transfers done early. He said it's ideal for any coach that you ask. The earlier you get players, the better, because you need to get them in the cohesion of the team, understanding each other, relaxed and comfortable socially around the team. And the fact that Jesus has been with us for a few weeks makes a huge difference. And whether the result changes anything about the transfer strategy, no. He said nothing. Again, don't get carried away. There were a lot of positives. There are a lot of things we can do much better, much better for that matter. But then we have done today as well, and we have to continue to improve as a team. On his options in the team, I focus on the players that I have here available. We know what we like to do is to get the best from the players that we have. On the back foot at the moment, Tierney and Tomiyasu are not fit. We have other options, but I think it was good to try different things to build some relations in big matches. I'm happy with the way we played. He spoke on Zinchenko. He said he's desperate to play, and I knew that. It was maximum 45 minutes, but you could see straight away he was comfortable. He understands everything that I want. He understands the process, and I thought he had a really good game. He spoke about Saliba. I am really pleased to see the way he is playing, the way he has adapted to the team, the maturity that he has shown at 21 years old. Carry on doing it. We'll keep developing. He has huge potential. He's already a top player. We have to make him even better. And if you're Saliba, that must be very encouraging hearing your manager say that. On if he's ready, he looked ready to me today. So take at that what you will. It's Saliba's opportunity to fumble or take advantage on. He spoke on Fabio Vieira and Tomiyasu. Tommy is really close to start. Yeah, us really close to start doing some training sessions. So close to starting training sessions. That's what it said there, people. Hopefully next week, and Fabio probably a little bit longer. So Fabio Vieira, if anything, the bench for Crystal Palace. I think he needs another week or so before he starts with the team. But he's been working hard and he's been really unlucky to start his Arsenal career in this way. But again, he's fitting in well. He said Jesus is basically okay. He got a knock in the first half in his squad. I think it was, and it wasn't very comfortable to continue. Obviously, we didn't take any risk today. He spoke on the tour, said we had a great time. On the depth of our squad, he said we are where we are. Obviously, at the moment, we have injuries. You can see that we are still a bit short in some positions for the way that we want to play. So that tells you certain squad players, we know what's going to happen to them. But it's something that we're trying to address. We have increased the quality of the team for sure, and the level of squad is obviously something that we want to keep raising. He spoke about Gabriel Jesus in relation to the Golden Boot. He said, I have no clue. We're in preseason. What I can guarantee you is that he's going to do everything that he can do to be the best player he can be. That's it. He then spoke on signing American players, which, again, isn't necessarily relevant, people. Which is calm. I didn't actually see Edu's comments, but he said Zinchenko ticks all the boxes. Bloody hell, people. He said, I'm very pleased to see how we're working as a team here in the club. We put a plan together and some plans in place, and Zinchenko was on our list. We've been very proactive to start to talk to the agents, to start to talk to City, and we are pleased to have a player here because he has the attributes which I am sure are going to put our squad on a different level. We know he's got big mentality. He's got a lot of character, people. I'm going to skip that because we know that with Zinchenko. On Mikel speaking to Zinchenko, he said, for sure, every single player that we target, we discuss a lot every single point. As I mentioned, characteristics, the mentality, the commitment of the players. This is so important to understand before you really go into target the players. So, yeah, of course, Mikel and myself had a big discussion about him as well. He said, that's the plan in place. As I am saying to you, I am pleased because when we plan something and we have been very proactive to start to do things, and we have a lot of support from the club, from the owners, from everyone around us to stick to the plan and go for the players that we target, that's the teamwork, and I'm so proud because I can see the plan that we did 6 or 7 months ago happening today in the right way. So it's really nice to see the way we are playing. He spoke on, Zinchenko linking up with his new teammates and things. He said the main part of that, he said some players take a bit more time because you have to negotiate, we have to convince, we have to talk. So there are a lot of things around it. But our main focus in the beginning of the transfer window is to try to get the players that we target as soon as we can to enjoy and be here and be together and to start the season the way we planned it. It's so nice to have him here, and he'll have opportunities to know his colleagues, the coaching staff, even the owners, everyone. It's important to the players' adaptation. So it's adaptation. Sorry, people, I'm just getting late, isn't it? So it's nice to have him here. Jesus play, on the road. Jesus played in the signing. Mikel is telling people our strategy to sign players. No, of course, we have to use what we have, not to convince, but to talk to the players that we target, because there are some doubts, there are some ideas, there are some comments to the players to make them feel really comfortable. And of course, Gabriel and Zinchenko have played together, so they know each other very well. We just said to Gabby to explain to him what is Arsenal, because he's already faced it, he's already here, and he's already enjoying it. So that's why we used a little bit of Gabriel to talk to him. On possible outgoings, again, we've seen that comment, but once again, we have a plan for every single player in the squad, and that's why I said there's still a lot to do in this transfer window, because we have to balance the squad. So he's told you we're going to be proactive, and we're not necessarily done, in the best way possible. For players who probably aren't going to have a lot of minutes here, we have to expose the players to have minutes in another place to keep developing the player, keep the idea, keep the player's valuation high. So that's the way we plan it. And then again, he said, on the business so far, I am pleased, but to say how close is difficult, because there's still a lot to do. We're in the middle of a transfer window and things can happen. What we have to do is be really focused and be prepared for every single situation. Opportunities maybe can happen. Clubs can sometimes come to us to see if there's a possibility to get our players on loan or buy players. We just have to be prepared. And I think we are very much prepared for almost everything. So that's that in relation to Pepe's Instagram post. Edu speaking on Paqueta, etc., folks. We're not really what you would want to hear. What are you lot saying? Because I was leaving you lot hanging, people, as I was getting through that. One love to you lot tuned in. Ainsley needs to go and Lokonga needs a loan to move to a lower Prem team, even Championship. Like you said, Saka should never play left back for Arsenal again. He's beyond that now. Could imagine City or Liverpool telling Mahrez or Salah to play left wing or wing back. To be fair, he'd probably do that there. Sevilla just so Conde